Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested. Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed.
Hello and welcome to an impromptu Space Dog Jury Minisode. Minisode, you say? What? You say? Well, I say it's happening because basically, Mass Effect Andromeda video trailer just dropped. New trailer! Yay! So that obviously means that it's the clarion call. The torches are lit, and me and Andy immediately leapt onto the internet to do this thing because new spaceships. And obviously, while we're in this kind of hyper mode and quite happy about the whole thing, what we didn't want Pete sitting there going, looks like a space prawn. So he's
died up in the Jeffries tube this time.
Yeah, we stuck him in the Jeffries tube. So,
I seem to enjoy it as well, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, don't question it.
Okay.
Basically, Mass Effect Andromeda trailer just dropped, part of the EA Play, which is nothing to do with E3, but just happened to happen at exactly the same time.
Yes, it's like 5 minutes before it kicks off, they're doing this, but it's nothing to do with it whatsoever. But I don't give a shit about any of that. Let's talk about the trailer.
Let's talk about the trailer. The reason we were doing the trailer for covering this trailer as opposed to, any other trailer for any other game is because what we get in the middle of it, which qualifies it perfectly for this minisode, is we get an absolutely splendid shot of the ship we're going to be flying, the Tempest.
Oh, she looks like a beauty.
She does indeed. Now, the thing that strikes me straight away with the Tempest is, from the top down, she certainly looks very Normandy-esque.
Oh yeah, we've definitely got that kind of low profile. We've got the 4 engines at the rear. Biggest differences, and again, this is solely from our initial shots, is she has some canards at the front, small little wings just after the nose, and also on the rear engines there's kind of like 2 vertical stabilizers. So it's just kind of like these upward shark fins almost. Yeah, they've
kind of sleeked it up a bit. She doesn't sort of curl over pretty much like the Normandy did. And no, I'm not forgetting it. I haven't just passed on from the Normandy. Now I've seen this other thing. The one thing is I tell you what it reminded me of a lot looking at it, is that they've smoothed off so there's no forward baffles or anything like that going forward. It's all sweeping backwards now. It's
a very elegant way that the main hull sweeps into the engines as well. It kind of comes back and curves afterwards, which remind me somewhat of the Covenant ships from the Halo series, in that the way it kind of comes back into the circle section.
Yeah, I tell you what also it kind of reminds me of is it looks like it's wearing its Concorde inspiration firmly on its sleeve.
Oh, absolutely. Because it does. It definitely, again, from that front aspect, it doesn't have quite the same pointy nose that the Normandy 1 had.
No.
But what you do see is a bit later on, we can see it's actually landed on the ground, and you see on the underside, it's got much more of an upward, almost like a bow shape on that forward section. The colour scheme seems to be black, white, and red, very reminiscent of the N7 colours that Shepard and Ryder seem to wear.
Yep.
So that's very cool.
That's good.
I think she's smaller than the Normandy. Definitely smaller than the Normandy 2, possibly even smaller than Normandy 1.
Yes.
She's
more of the secondary craft that comes from the main ship, which we catch a couple of glances of in the later part of the trailer. Again, no idea if that's the Tempest itself or if it's like all one thing.
Yeah. But if Normandy was a frigate in the kind of naval nomenclature, I'd say that the Tempest would be a corvette, which is a smaller vessel sort of thing, still independent, but not quite as capable of going off on the long missions that the Normandy would have been able to. So I don't think the Tempest would be able to operate as far away from its mothership as, say, the Normandy could.
No. And the one thing I've got the sense of is that bigger ship, the one that looks more like a sort of like the four-winged. It looks almost like the Citadel.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, and again, I think there's... So looking again at this sequence, it looks like there's 3 of those colony ships, for lack of a better term, because we see the camera pans up from the Earth as we see all these Kodiak shuttles flying up, past these Kilimanjaro dreadnoughts, and then as it comes around a structure, we don't even see what that structure is, so that again could be another one. You have this main colony ship, I'm assuming, but what would appear to be 2 others in formation with it, which suggests that, again, going back to things like, what was it? Freelancer, Starlancer, and games like that. They're sending out multiple colony ships. So, again, maybe there's some sort of inter-ship rivalry which is going to come out later on. Maybe there's a ship for the humans, a ship for the Krogans, a ship for the Asari, something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, because because for those of you who don't know and who do follow Mass Effect, if you don't want to hear any spoilers for Mass Effect 3 and a little bit of Andromeda, but the basics of it is this is set towards the end of Mass Effect 3, when basically it looks like all is lost. The Reapers are kind of wiping out the galaxy as they've done millions of times before for every 50,000 years.
Look, since it seems to suggest that these ships are leaving Earth, and Earth isn't currently being utterly immolated by the Reapers, we have to assume this takes place sometime between the end of Mass Effect 2 and the beginning of Mass Effect 3.
Well, I mean, or the start of Mass Effect 3.
The very start. So when Shepard's been woken up and they're told that they've lost contact with the Arcturus station
relays,
in that period, which would make sense. It's like, okay, you got to go now.
Yeah,
and potentially we might even see in the opening as these colony ships leave, the Reapers are arriving.
Which also leads to, which ties in nicely with the final one line from the female character we see at the end of this trailer, which is the kind of, we made it.
Yeah.
Which kind of implies perhaps that maybe not all 3 of these ships are going to get away.
Or it's touch and go, definitely. I mean, it definitely has that kind of alien vibe of just kind of waking up and, everything's still asleep, if you will. The lights are only just starting to start off of a ship. It's only just starting to come online.
Yeah. Plus, if you want to read a little bit of symbology into it, the name of the ship being called the Tempest, the whole point of Shakespeare's Tempest was, someone washing up on unfamiliar shores.
Yeah.
And so, and actually finding that someone was already there.
Yeah, well, yes. Very interesting. We don't really get any... We see some alien monster, something almost Rancorish in its size.
A bit like the Shadow Broker, to be honest.
A little bit. Well, I'd say meaner than that by the looks of this thing.
Yeah.
We see some Krogans. Our first look of an Asari.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. The graphical step between Mass Effect 3 and this game is the equivalent of a step between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
It's just such a huge step. You get a little sense of a bridge of a Tempest, which is much more open. Actually, you can also see a Solarian on the bridge there, just looking at it now. So,
yep,
Solarians are definitely with us, which is cool. I like the big kind of bay window, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
We see the whatever's replacing the the Mako again. This new tanky thing.
Well, it is a Mako. It's a Mark III. It's a Mark III Mako.
Yes,
but yeah. I mean, back to the ships, because keep it a little bit on point. I mean, these colony ships, I would say, interestingly, they look like Star Destroyers with a central ring, and in like very sort of angular nacelles sort of hanging off the bottom and the top in a sort of floor configuration.
We see them in the previous trailer as well, very briefly, and those nacelles seem to be able to butterfly out almost.
Yeah.
Some sort of solar collector or something like that, I'd assume.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, it does look fantastic.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, just purely from what we've seen. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of stuff here that's obviously either pre-rendered or certainly elements of it which are making you think, well, hold on, there's, this is a cutscene of some kind. But
there was another Alliance frigate you see as well, about a minute 22. It seems to be docked up at a station during the rain, and that's one of the earliest style of frigates or corvettes which I don't think you ever see them in the game, but they're mentioned in the codexes, which are much more boxy looking, but still with a long engine. So again, I don't know if that's going to take, because again, that almost looks like it's got the moon in the background. So this might be from some sort of a preamble bit or something still in our galaxy. Who knows? This might be some of the things that are already there. Perhaps Cerberus, the scheming bastards that they are, have beaten us to Andromeda.
Well, that's possible. That's possible. But whoever's human, there's one poor sad sap getting bodily dropped off to the edge of a cliff. Yeah,
I'm loving the shots of the Alliance dreadnoughts that you get just after that as well, because I've always liked the Alliance dreadnoughts. They're kind of these big hunkered down things with a massive fuck off gun down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the general impression is obviously good. I mean, we're fans, so we're not going to turn around and say no. But cinematically, it looks superb. Graphically, it looks amazing.
This game cannot arrive soon enough. It's just like, I need this in my life.
Exactly. And the ship design is another leap forward. I mean, it's quite clearly in the Mass Effect universe.
Oh, absolutely. You could look at this ship in isolation without having it mentioned that this is from Mass Effect Andromeda or anything like that. You just look at the ship, and instantly it has that design lineage we've seen with the Normandy, with the other Alliance ships. It's like, yes, this belongs in that universe.
Yeah.
And it just looks stunning. That opening shot when it just kind of jumps in. There's something about the way all the Mass Effect ships just arrive, and it's just like, phew. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the few things I really liked about the 09 Trek.
Yeah.
Was the way they went to warp. It was like that bullet from a gun effect.
Yeah.
And they've got that here perfectly. It's just like, there's nothing, and then there's a ship. That's what Faster Than Light is.
Yeah.
It arrived before the light of it arrived.
Yeah. Yeah. It arrived before it did.
Yes,
before it was seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely. I mean, like I say, we've managed to scrabble out what's sort of nearly 10 minutes worth of conversation out of 1 minute 99 1 minute 58 seconds worth of footage. But
just completely again, I'm just flicking through this as we talk. I'm very curious at about the 38 second into the trailer. There's some sort of structure that appears to be
sorry about that.
And the music up. There's some structure which appears to be hanging above a world. So again, curious, is this something that's human or from our colony ships, or is this one of these alien devices? Because we also see these towers seem to be growing out of the ground, kind of like a fresher Moor, but an artificial one. So.
Yeah, there's lots to see and consider here. Also, now this is speculation on the game purely and story, but it's interesting that what you were saying about the two colony ships, because I'm seeing the fact that the N7 warrior you only ever see done up in his helmet and and it's clearly a he.
Yeah.
But all the characters that you actually see facial features of and actually jumping into action and doing anything are all female. And I'm wondering whether or not the N7 person is actually the good guy.
Oh, I've been pondering if he's the antagonist quite a bit, especially that whole kind of first trailer with the Johnny Cash track playing and all that. It suggests to me some sort of an outlaw, especially the way he kind of he's got this cloth kind of part of his thing undone. He's a bit unkempt.
Yeah,
he goes for his gun. It just kind of suggests to me he might be a rogue almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a renegade. N7 officer. Yeah. Which again, if you played your Shepherd that way, all power to you, that's fine. But maybe this is an embodiment of that.
Yeah.
Which would be very interesting,
Yeah, well, there you go. So, have you seen this trailer? Did you like this trailer? Are you not interested in Mass Effect? Do you like Mass Effect? Just leave.
And if you don't, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, apart from the fact you're clearly Pete. Yeah, apart from Pete, what do you think? Take a look at the trailer. We'll put it on the Facebook groups as soon as I've uploaded this video.
Oh, it's already up there, mate.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. leave your
comments. We're recording this 30 minutes after the trailer dropped.
Yeah.
That trailer was on the group 2 minutes after it dropped.
And the text coming through to me was 1 minute 58 after it dropped.
Yeah.
So, so leave your comments there. Go to our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/SpaceDocJury. And, of course, leave any nice little comments and stuff on the iTunes. You know, always good to have a nice review or two. And, we'll speak to you next time when we're back with... What ships are we back with? I can't remember now. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Just very, very quickly, though. I've got to... And I'm asking this on behalf of Pete more than anything else. But do you think they'll have a galley on the Tempest?
Oh, goes without saying.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah. Space kitchens. Okay. Well, until next time, take care and we'll speak to you all next week. Ta-ra!
Bye!
I should go.
Space Doc Jury is a production by Three Angry Beards for GeekPlanetOnline.com.
All right, my turn. What's the first order an Alliance commander gives at the start of combat?
I give up.
Correct.